Situationship. If you've never been in one, I believe that you're missing a crucial life lesson. If you were born before the early 2000s or in the 1990s, I'm probably sure the first time you heard the term situationship, you were very, 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 very confused and wondered what the hell are these Gen Z people calling situationship? Situationship, according to Oxford Dictionary, is defined as a romantic or sexual relationship that is not formal or established. According to Cambridge Dictionary, situationship can be defined as a relationship between two people who consider themselves couple, but is more than a friendship. Now, arguably, the term situationship can be called a Gen Z term, but really, the situationship just starts now. If you take a look at the movies from the early 2000s or TV shows, situationship has always been there. Let's take, for example, Sex and the Big City. Sorry, Sex and the City. Oh my God, I don't know why I'm saying big because of the guy Big. Carrie and Big, and their dynamic was just situationship. So Carrie wanted stability, availability. Meanwhile, Big just wanted vibes. Another example would be Friends, the famous Friends, Ross and Rachel. Every small thing, we're on a break, we're on a break, we're on a break. I feel like that was always a term. They were always very emotionally exposed.
Relationship too jeopardized. I thought we were broken up.
We were on a break.
That for all.
Labor was not there and stability was also not there. If you look at Love and Basketball, Monica and Quincy, there was very, very deep emotional history, intense chemistry, but they loved each other, but never really chose each other. And lastly, I honestly believe that some persons may argue this movie being on this list, but Friends with Benefits, it started off as Friends with Benefits, right? Until one person builds deeper emotions for the other person, and the other person still wants vibe, and there's just an imbalance there. So situationship has always been there for since time memorial, actually. And if we actually go back before these early movies, I'm sure we can find other times when situationship existed. What are the signs that you may be in a situationship? Because maybe you have convinced yourself that that man is your man. Sorry, no man. Maybe you convinced yourself that you're in a relationship, but you don't really know. So now these are the signs that my sister, my brother, you are indeed in a relationship. There's emotional intimacy, but there's no label. So you can never ask what are we. If you ask what are we, people are going to fight. So there's always this like, oh God, I can't really ask him like what's it's always there. Another thing is you have a relationship without direction. You don't know where you're going. Every year you never really know what is going to happen next. You're just moving on vibes. You're exclusive but not loud. So you can't really do stuff with other people. You can't talk to other people. You can't chat to other people. So it's just you and this person. You've gotten this emotional exclusivity. But it's not loud because they don't own you. They don't unnecessarily own you, but there's no label. Like people don't know that that's your partner. Like inconsistency is normal. Some days you guys talk every day and some days you guys don't talk every day. So and you can't really question like, oh, you didn't text me today. Like what happened today? We didn't talk. You can't question that because that's not your man. You don't reserve the right to those kind of questions. But in a situationship is you guys continue to avoid the serious conversation. The conversation to progress the relationship is always avoided. Conversation to end situationship is always avoided. There's never you put on serious shit. No, that doesn't exist there. Another sign, and I feel like that is literally like the utmost sign, is that you can't explain it to your friends. Like if another person asks, like, "Oh, what are you doing with X, Mr. X?" It's complicated. Like we're just friends. We're just like, girl, you're just friends. We're just so. Those are the signs. Now, if I listed any of these things, and that happens to be you, my darling, you are in a situationship. Hi guys, my name is Siawi. I am a medical doctor based in Port Harcourt, Nigeria, and I create lifestyle videos, a little bit of beauty and other things in between like this one. So if this is up your alley, please click the subscribe button. Now, after saying all these things I've said, I'm sure you're wondering, so why do people stay in a situationship? Emotional needs are met in a situationship. You can talk to somebody, you can rely on the person a little bit, and you just feel like you have an exclusivity with somebody. This person is your person per se, but I mean, there's no label there, but there's just that feeling because you're different from someone that is single. You do have somebody you talk to at night. You do have somebody that you share your wins and your losses with, someone you cry to. So there's just this companionship that it sort of provides you, and you like that. The current climate, this modern society sort of praises autonomy, personal freedom, personal growth, and so situationship sort of gives you that leverage to boost your personal goal as opposed to channeling that energy in relationship, because most persons in a relationship tend to give relationship their all and try to nurture it for a long period of time, and now that nurturing in question can sort of stray people from their personal goals. A study done by Langes. I hope I'm not butchering his name. He's a psychologist. He did a study on why people stay in situationship. Study he did just two psychology theories together: the social exchange theory and the investment theory. Now, the social exchange theory is basically saying that people would stay in a relationship when they believe that the reward outweighs the cost. So now you just feel like outside you don't really have options because I mean in the situationship there, like who else again is going to be listening to me rant about my day? Who else again is going to be listening to me cry? Who else is going to satisfied by sexual needs? Because I mean let's be honest, it also comes with that. And then another, you just so because of that, you just tend to stay inside there because you feel like you can't really get much outside. Investment model basically states that situation commitment is shaped not just by satisfaction but by how much someone has invested in it. So because you've put in so much time, energy into this situationship, it can't really come out though. You've spent so much time, like nigga, where are you going to? Now, what are some factors that tend to fuel situationships or make situationships sort of socially acceptable? Because to be honest with you, in my generation at least, situationship is like a norm. Like nobody really shames you for having a situationship. Like compared to my parents' generation, where it's kind of absurd to explain to my mom what situationship is because it makes no sense. You're supposed to be in a relationship and then married. Number one is honestly the fear of commitment. Everybody's so scared of committing, especially if you've had previous bad experiences, maybe with previous heartbreaks, and is actually technology and dating apps. So with dating apps, you tend to have like a very large selection, a wide range of selection of people from different walks of life at your disposal. And so that makes you feel like there's always going to be a better option out there. So when you find someone that you really like and you in an ideal world, you're supposed to invest in the person or the space or whatever, you tend to not put that full concentration on investment because there are better options out there. Just want you want to see what's out there more, like, so you don't really put your mind. So the last one, I think, in relationship norms in society, marriage is not so praised as it was before. It's not the end goal again. It is not what makes people, it's not the greatest thing in people, the greatest achievement in people's life. And so because of that, relationships end goal was always marriage. Now, if the marriage is no longer the end goal, the achievement, what's the point of doing relationship or commitment for a long period of time if I don't really have an end goal? And so what do you do? Set for situationship. This is why I personally think that situationship is just the character development. And I don't think it ruins you as people claim it does. I feel like it resets your brain. Situationship is actually the very first time in people's life where you emotional attachment without security, you experience affection without clarity, intimacy without guarantees. Now, as these things sound really, really sad, it actually is like a wake up call to your brain. Like your brain needs to, needs to reset a bit because, to be honest with you, when you're in a situationship with somebody, you don't really know where it's headed. You don't really know what you're doing there. The emotional availability is not so secure because this is not really your person. And when you experience those things, your brain sort of starts asking questions like, oh, what can I tolerate? What are my boundaries? Am I attracted to this person or to the potential? Because the potential is when you've been with this person for a very long time in a situationship and you feel like, oh, we could potentially be in a relationship. Like, I like him. But like, does the person really the it? Like, do you really like this person in front of you? Or like when you start to ask yourself, what can you tolerate? So before you think, oh, I really like him, like so like anything like he does doesn't really bother me. But then with time you realize, oh, I actually do like when somebody's affectionate with me and open about it. I like when somebody claims me and is loud. I like the labels. Relationship can be okay. However, where it becomes a problem is typically in situationships, one person starts to develop deeper feelings for the other person, and the other person in question is still acting on vibes. Most times, the deeper feelings always come from the women. I don't know why. I once there's that shifts, you start to have low self esteem because you feel like you're not worthy of commitment, and that starts to affect your self worth and everything. Now, I feel like if you're in a space with somebody and you start to doubt your self worth, whether it be situationship or is relationship, my sister, I'm talking to my sister because it's never really the men. My sister, please try and come out. I think that is when you have to move on from it being a situationship, and you have to ask yourself those difficult questions I mentioned earlier and come out. In summary, situationship isn't necessary, but for some people, it teaches them what they would never accept again. Thank you so much for watching this video up to this point. I'd love to know your thoughts, your personal experiences, any lessons you learned, and maybe just I just want to know what you think about situationships because it's something that's so common in this generation. So I would like to know your thoughts, your opinions on what you think situationship is, and if you think it's a good thing or it's a bad thing. If you enjoyed this video, please do make sure to like, share with your friends, and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos like this. And I'll see you next week. Bye.